We're going to do a quick review of the anatomical sites and structures found on the vertebrae that make up the vertebral column. We're going to start out with C1, which is also termed the atlas. So here we have the anterior tubercle, and you have the anterior arches, the superior articulating facets, the transverse foramen on each side, the posterior arch, the posterior tubercle, and underneath we have the inferior articulating facets. Looking at C2, which is also termed the axis. Here we have the dens, we have the superior articulating facets, you have the pedicles, the lamina, and the spinous process. If you look on the side here, we have a transverse process, and you also have a transverse foramen. If you look underneath here, we have inferior articulating facets. Moving on to the rest of the cervical spine, which would be C3 through C7, you have the body, we have the transverse process, the transverse foramen, we have the lamina, spinous process, superior articulating facet, and underneath the inferior articulating facet. Moving on to the thoracic spine, this would be T1 through T12. We have the body, we have superior articulating facets. We also have the transverse costal facets. We have the lamina, which go into the spinous process. And if you look underneath, we have the inferior articulating facets. Looking at the lumbar spine, which is L1 through L5, we have the body. You have the superior articulating facets. Whoop, let's turn that over. Now we have the body, the superior articulating facets, the transverse processes. This is the pedicle. These make up the lamina, the spinous process, and you turn it over and you have the inferior articulating facet.